Welcome along to the Dog and Parrot for the pre-match talking with the legend that is Supermac. Put your hands together. Some update on the scores. Anybody who hasn't seen it, Arsenal got beat. Does that mean the Premier League title is still on, Malcolm?
It certainly is, that's for sure.
Wolves are beating Liverpool 2-0, but we've come to expect Liverpool getting beat, haven't we? So that's not really a big deal. Malcolm, let's start with a Tuesday night game. Newcastle United are at Wembley. Have you had time to recover?
Yeah, I don't know about recover. I've had to sort of calm down somewhat because as good as the result was, and the fact, of course, that we're in the League Cup final later this month, I just got so angry at the game. Right. Simply because Newcastle, they were technically 3-0 up. On aggregate, they were 3-0 up, and they were nervous, and their passing wasn't good at all. And I thought this is the time to really show Man United, who was obviously going to be in the final against us, show Man United how good a side we were. And we were showing them anything but. And so I was disappointed on that. But we are there, and we've got 3 games where we could go out and really tan some backsides between now and the final, just to set Man United right back on their haunches.
The obvious miss today is Bruno, suspended now for 3 games. How big a miss is he going to be?
Yeah, I think he's quite unique, is Bruno, albeit why in the last few minutes, when we were assured victory, why was he getting so involved and going over the top with just a few minutes to go? There was no need for it at all, and I felt that it was completely out of character for him. A rush of blood of some sort, and it's a shame, but he's going to be back for the final. But then we know that Eddie Howe is a manager who sticks with the informed players that are in the side. So it's certainly going to be an interesting 3 games in between for people to show themselves to Eddie Howe that they can really do it. But who comes in his place? Personally, if it were my choice, I would bring Isak to play up front and let everybody just sort of drop back some. And I think it's about time Isak was put into the side to start.
Isak probably won't play today because of the concussion protocol, which means that it's probably going to be Joe Linton dropping back in and ASM playing wide. This is ASM's time to shine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but then he's had 3 years to shine as well. And he's never really grasped at it in the slightest. I really don't know what to say about this fella at all, because for me, I'm just completely out of patience with him. I really am. The game of football, when you're playing up front, the game of football is about how many goals do you make, how many goals do you score. And they are the 2 principles that Alan Saint-Maximin should be concentrating on. Making goals, scoring goals. And and if you're scoring, then you're allowed to miss as well, because you can't score all the time. But he's not doing either, and I'm finding him very, very frustrating. I have done for the last 3 years, he himself has got to be more positive. And if he's coming into the side today, I would like to see him make goals, score goals.
In his press conference yesterday, Eddie Howe was asked about Elliot Anderson. He was asked if this is the time for him to shine because he hasn't been put out on loan, and clearly there's an opportunity now with Bruno's suspension to give him a run out. What's your thoughts on Elliot Anderson, and how does Eddie Howe get the best out of him?
Well, I think the lad is a super player, and the times that I've seen him come on as a substitute, he's looked very confident in what he's doing. Do you take a chance in this situation that Newcastle find themselves in, where they're looking to get into Europe, they're looking to win a cup final, and so Eddie Howe he's got to be very careful in this. There is a phrase in football management, and that is you win nothing with kids. Now, to a degree, I proved that wrong at Fulham, but what I found with putting kids into the first team, I found put them in for 5 or 6 games, but then they sort of get an exhaustion within themselves, and you have to take them out and give them 2 or 3 games to recover, to readjust. But then when they go back on the field, mentally, all of a sudden they're experienced players. They know what they're doing, and so yeah, it's not as if the side is full of kids. And if I were to see Elliot Anderson being given that opportunity to start, I'd be quite happy, and I'd be very intrigued, because I'd love to see him actually make it work.
Another local lad, Sean Longstaff, got 2 goals to send Newcastle to Wembley. You're obviously president of North Shields. You've seen, the family and the players develop. What was your take on Sean Longstaff's performance? And you'll be looking to carry that on now, won't you, till the end of the season?
Absolutely. There's nothing for giving somebody a real boost of confidence than sticking it in the net. And Sean did it twice, and did it brilliantly as well, I have to say. For the second goal, I watched it. When the ball came out of the Newcastle box, Sean Longstaff was in the 6-yard area, and he just set off. And there were other players that were way further up the field than he. He could have got so far and then just eased off and said, oh, there's others up there. He didn't. He said, I'm going to get in there as well. And it's that desire to keep himself right in the middle of the game. And, I've said this a number of times, but I will say it again. It's worth saying that in all the stats that are done every game on every player, Sean Longstaff runs more than anybody else in the Premier League. He covers more ground. And by heavens, the second goal, that was the perfect example. He went from one end to the other. He overtook people, and he arrived at just the perfect time, just to get the one touch and put Newcastle further ahead. And so, and what you've got to remember is that because he's so involved in a game, he will make more mistakes. He's still a young lad learning, but you have to look at all the good stuff that he does, and there's an awful lot of it. And he's got to be even better with no Bruno out today.
Callum Wilson, 11 games without a goal. When you used to go a couple of games, because you didn't go many games without scoring, how do you keep yourself in tune as a centre forward, a goal scorer?
Yeah, it goes all the way back to October since his last goal. That is a worry. That's a concern. I know that there was the World Cup in between, where he was involved to a degree. What I noticed on Tuesday was that he looked rather sluggish, and then and all of a sudden he went on a particular run in the first half, and he was going from the centre across to the right, and he absolutely let fly, and he looked the quickest thing on two legs in that game, just on that one run. But he didn't make any more. And I think, well, why? Why just one? Is he carrying an injury again? Is there a physical problem that's holding him back? You know, we want to see him sprinting. That's his strength, along with goal scoring. So, it's a real difficult one, and that's why I would like to see perhaps Isaac coming into the side. I know with a concussion thing at the moment, but I would like to see Isaac coming in, and he will lend Wilson a lot of support, and it will take a burden off of Wilson, and rather than having to play the game all the time, he can maybe just concentrate on his finishing.
Okay, West Ham are in town today. They haven't had such a great season on the road. 5 points out of a possible 30. Only one win, 2 draws. Scored 6 goals, 2 of them penalties. So they're not the greatest of travellers, but they have hit a bit of form. So what are you expecting today?
Well, in all honesty, I'm expecting Newcastle to give them a bit of a tousing, I have to say. Come on, we had just reached the League Cup final. We've got a game at Wembley later in the month. Everybody's playing for their position, for their place, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing a Newcastle side get out there and want to murder West Ham. And you take that attitude out in the field with you, and everybody picks up on it, as people have just done. And so, yeah, after what I saw on Tuesday, I'm really looking for a lot of players to be doing a lot better.
Prediction?
Today, I think that Newcastle, they're going to score goals today. I'm pretty sure of that. Looking for another Premier League clean sheet. No, and there's records to be grabbed today, and so I'm going to take Newcastle to win 3-0.
I'm going 2-0. Malcolm will be back at 8 o'clock. Put your hands together for Supermac. I'm coming round now with the raffle tickets.